Everyone, RemanX here. We're going to go through a little bit of an announcement here. I know a lot of you guys are frustrated with the recent addition of Silver Surfer to the raid season milestones, and it looks like alliances are coming undone. But before you break up and decide that you can't make it and challenge yourselves to get to the next level, we're going to go through a couple of quick factors here. We're going to talk about what it looks like and hopefully help you guys navigate these troubling times and give you guys the ultimate tool to help you progress through the raid. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. If you guys don't know, the raid season rewards have changed. And with that, as you get into the later milestones, 28 and above, Silver Surfer's in there. So your alliance is probably trying to find the best path forward, if it is going to still be your alliance after this weekend's addition to the game with very little information for us. The good news is we've been working on the back end for a tool to help you guys figure out how to progress. So really quickly, we're going to show you guys the tool that Vrondius made. And first things first, you guys you'll have the link for this inside of the description for the video over here. You guys will be able to grab this and then hopefully move on and showcase you how to use it. So you're going to take this raid milestone calculator and then you're going to make a copy. Once you make a copy, you're going to go into here and then you can adjust it based on what you and your alliance can do. So if you take a look at U7.5 versus Doom, okay, and we'll call it the ultimate raid. We'll call it 30%. Okay, and then we'll do the Greek raid. We'll try the beta 4.3 and we'll call it 60%. You can see the points that you get versus the Ultima 7 and the Doom 2, and you'll see that you get almost the same number of shards, ultimate raids, ultimate number of Greek raids. Let's do this really quickly again. Let's call it Doom. So Doom 60%. Okay. And we'll just go back to the Alpha 4.2 and we'll call it 100%. All right, you can see the difference in the overall number. So you guys can adjust this depending on what your alliance can reasonably do. The idea is that a U7.5, okay, and the Alpha 4.2 at 100%, really, this is where a lot of alliances probably were autoing or getting to or gradually moving towards. You can see the value that Doom will have. Now, the biggest concern we have is going to be a lot of factors that aren't addressed by the raid milestones. I'm going to be making sure this feedback is something that we provide, but we're going to talk about it. One of the concerns we have is, let's say, ISOs and all this Silver Surfer is locked behind this more difficult raid. Well, the problem we're going to talk about is realistically what happens when you get to the rewards. And we're going to talk about the rewards here. So let's talk about the tier 3 rewards. If you were able to 100% it, you get 22.5k orange or orb parts, so just a little over 11. Same thing over here. And then if 30%, you get 7. Now let's talk about what this U7.5 rewards were. And this is really where some of the concern was what am I losing by transitioning to a different raid? And you can see right here, realistically, you're getting more purple. Now, you're going to get more on the nodes, and you're going to get origin-specific gear on the nodes. We'll go and show you guys that in a moment here. But your alliance is going to be losing some of the other gear to build your characters up. So let's go over it. Okay, so one of the big differences is going to be how much gear you're getting from the Doom raids. And so the concern was, what happens if you're under 600 days played and you're still relying on an income of blue and purple gear from these raids? Well, then you got to figure out if your alliance can do the Silver Surfer push within the limits of what you're able to do. As you can see, getting to U7.5 might be the most important part of it, but pushing to Doom could hold you back if you're behind on gear. So we'll talk about the first strike rewards here. Again, you'll see the G15. Realistically, Doom raids were designed for alliances that were pushing Dark Dimension 4 or completed it. The problem is gating Silver Surfer behind that high-end completion of it. And again, 30%, you're not getting that much different. It is going to be as you increase your percentages, you'll see each season you'll be getting more and more shards because there's just more points. But realistically, at 30%, you could be losing orange gear, overall mats. And we'll go into here on the specific nodes. You can see that there's actually a origin gear, some purple mats, some orange mats on the boss node. Same thing here, purple orbs, purple mats, but not the same as you were getting in the U7.5. So some people mix it up for the season. The raid calculator doesn't really give you the ability to kind of mix it up. You can talk about points, but obviously you can see the high end of what you would get. But that's what it's here for. Help you guys figure out what to run with your alliance. Now we're going to talk about what I think is the best way to first run this raid if it's the first time you're doing it. And we're going to talk about it. So on the map over here, you're going to see that there's a couple of nodes here that, and you'll largely see there's a couple of paths here that are considered the most difficult. This left side, because the skill boss is so early in the raid, is considered the hardest side. You'll get some additional issues because you're going to be forced through one of the hardest bosses. I have a YouTube video featured in the channel here that goes over two-shotting the skill node boss, but again, that's something that a large roster is going to get to. So I recommend skipping this if you're a relatively new at the Doom raids. This right side is the same problem. You're going to see the skill gets a little bit earlier. So the middle lane is where I think if you're trying this for the first time, you guys have to get to 30% to get any rewards whatsoever, except for the fail rewards, which I don't even want to talk about. They're not even worth trying it. But you want to get all your alliance here up the middle and just getting them used to the raids, because believe it or not, for the most part, except for these early nodes over here, everything is relatively mirrored. There's some slight differences in some of the nodes, but everything's relatively mirrored in the power level. So the NTW node will be the same in some of the categories when you face it. Same thing with some of the other nodes as far as by origin trait. Again, 8 people going up to here, you have to stop where you have to do one of the second tier nodes. That's the first tier. That's the second tier. You have to do one of the first tier and one of the second tier in order to get to the 30% mark. About 32%, I want to say. And you guys can legitimately do that. Again, we do have some more videos. I'm going to have one with the one shot of the Mystic node coming down the line. And as your alliance gets more dooms, this will become a lot easier. And then you can spread the dooms out. And then eventually, if you have 4 dooms per strike team, you can start diverting some of your other players to like the early node. Once they get past skill, it'll be a little bit easier, and then they can push through there. This way you have 4 people pushing one of the harder skill nodes early on. But once you have Doom, you'll be able to expand the lanes. So if you guys do have Doom, especially when you get to about 4 per strike team, I do recommend putting 1 player with Doom, bigger Dooms. This way you've completed Dark Dimension 4 and started upgrading characters for this raid on each one of these assist lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6. So just for allocation purposes, your whole alliance can go up the gut here, which is lanes 3 and 4. You guys make sure you don't skip any nodes, work together, and you guys will get to the end and get high percentages and start pushing it over time. Again, we're going to go back to the raid calculator. If you guys have any questions about it, make sure you guys add some questions in the comments. We are here to help you. These are tools to help you navigate these new times. We've been kind of gearing you towards this with the expectation that eventually the ISO level 2 would be gated behind the Doom raids. We had no idea that the season rewards were going to be such an important factor for unlocking Silver Surfer. So hopefully we can help you figure that out down the line here. So remember, if you can get to Ultimate 7.5 100%, think about if you start Doom at 30%, we'll call it 32%, you can see that you're starting to push that, but you're also starting to get some more of the rewards from there. Again, you get obviously 32%, you get two more shards of Silver Surfer each season. Play around with the numbers, figure out what your alliance can reasonably do, talk to each member. I know that there's going to be some shifts in the actual season as we go forward. I expect alliances are going to be changing. There's going to be consolidations of power. This does often happen when the rewards start pushing at the end each time. All right, guys, I will check you soon. Thanks for watching. Remember, I do things so you don't have to, and this was the parting gift from Brondius, who has since quit the game because of some of the concerns here. We'll talk to you soon.